One day, we had just come down the mountain when unexpectedly, my ex-girlfriend appeared in front of us.
你以前总说云边镇多美多美，我就想来看看。
I was a little flustered and didn't know how to respond.
我都到了，你不请我吃个晚饭吗？
算了，球球，我们走，让他们吃饭去。
不行，不能走，我请你吃。
Cookie insisted firmly on eating at his house, pulling Cheng Shuang away without looking back. When we arrived at the hut, Cookie went to prepare dinner, leaving just the three of us.
只是他的朋友，当然不用关心他太多。
只是朋友，那你们什么关系啊？刘13，我问你，如果重来一次的话，你还会喜欢他吗？
The tense atmosphere left me at a loss, and in the end, I chose to flee the Kiwi's hut to avoid the conflict. At that moment, a heavy rain began to fall without warning.
下了这么大雨，先躲雨吧。
Neither of them moved, letting the raindrops soak their hair.
13，你是个好人。
哇，千里迢迢过来发好人卡是吧？刘13，你现在怎么想？
下这么大雨，进屋去吧。
面还没吃完呢。
I turned around, asked Cookie for an umbrella, then walked over to Cheng Shuang and held the umbrella above her head. My choice was clear. At that moment, this umbrella was held up for only one person.
我哪来时间生气？
When I saw her off at the town entrance, I realized I had already let go.
再见了。
好说。
It was like typing a period on a computer thought document ended. The story turned a page. That's all. Next came a new life. I gradually adapted to the town's rhythm and sold insurance policy after policy. Before I knew it, Cheng Shuang and I seemed to be getting closer and closer. I used to find hard work tiring, but now it suddenly feels a little joyful.
女孩吃不吃月饼啊？
看看谁回来了！
回来了！
On Madotam Festival, our family sat around the table. Grandma wanted to adopt Cheng Shuang as her granddaughter, but Cheng Shuang refused.
阿婆，我不要做外孙女。
Grandma wasn't angry at all. Her eyes seemed to see through all the little thoughts in people's hearts.
我外婆。
Before I could figure out the difference, Cheng Shuang's eyes lit up.
外婆，大声！外婆，外婆，
叫个外婆有什么好激动的？
外婆，
吃你的吧。
The moonlight was beautiful. The food was delicious. And family was by my side. This was probably happiness. A simple, yet extremely real happiness. A family reunion. A few days later, Sister Tingting came to me to sign an insurance policy, but the insured person was her brother.
21.4万，姐，你得攒多久啊？
I was shocked and asked her to think again, but she just shook her head with a smile. Suddenly, I realized that only by providing cash could Sister Tingting see her brother every month. In her heart, her brother was just lost. Mao Jiji actually knew his sister's sincere intentions. He wanted to improve, but couldn't. And forcing his sister to sell the house was his way of hoping she would cut ties with him.
厂子都倒了以后，我跟你一样，都是累赘。他们都说我姐，说我连累的，操，还不如把房子卖了分一分，各过各的比较好。
Before long, Mao Tingting married old Chen.
我怎么还没过来啊？这婚礼都开始了。那我把手机开着，你听声音吧。
She smiled generously at the wedding, but her eyes held not only joy, but also farewell and loss. Because her brother was never in the crowd. She gestured with sign language, and old Chen translated beside her. After getting married, they would move to another city. She hoped everyone would remember her, and begged everyone to be more tolerant of her brother. She believed he wouldn't be wrong forever. But what none of us knew was that Mao Jiji had actually come that day. He was wearing his cleanest factory uniform, but he still didn't go in. He silently watched his sister walk towards happiness and offered his most sincere blessings from the bottom of his heart. At the same time, Kiwi's mentally ill father Wang Yang walked into the bank, poured a basket of sheep manure in front of the counter, and muttered about exchanging it for money to send his child to school. Chen Xiaozhen tried to comfort him, but the surrounding residents insulted him. Wang Yang became emotional and waved the weapon in his hand. With a gunshot, Wang Yang ended his heavy and miserable life.
我爸会出什么事了？求求！
After Wang Yang passed away, I was not qualified to adopt her, so Kyuki was sent to the welfare home. It was only when I registered her that I found out her real name was actually Kyuki. Gigi discovered that his sister had signed the house property contract years ago. She had just been afraid that his gambling habit would make him lose the house. Now, it was time for him to let go. Niu de Tian had been guarding the hospital for several days. And finally, Chen Xiaozhen agreed to see him.
真酷，比我当老板的时候酷多了。我这辈子能有这么酷的老婆，值了。
我以前从来没有想过，我会找到一个这么傻的老公。
That year, the autumn in Yangbian town came to an end. Grandma suddenly fell ill, and the doctor said it was advanced malignant tumor surgery would be meaningless. The critical illness notice in my hand felt like a death sentence from hell. At that time, I didn't know that. Grandma had already known her days were numbered half a year earlier. Back then, I always said I was doing well, but she still couldn't stop worrying about me. So the 70-year-old drove a tractor to the city to find me. Spending the entire day on the road, it was Grandma's first time in this unfamiliar world, and she searched for my place using a crumpled courier slip.
就是这儿，这儿啊，对，哎，谢谢啊。
It wasn't until late at night that she finally reached the door. It wasn't even closed. Grandma walked in, looked at her unconscious grandson, and felt immense heartache.
不要哭啊！你再哭，外婆心都碎了。外婆赶着回家。
Grandma's back was already hunched over, but she still struggled to lift me up and walked outside step by step.
外婆在的地方，那就是家啊！
其实我从来没告诉过别人，很想我外婆，我是个废物，但我硬要长命百岁。
The excavator ran all night, and we didn't return to Yangbian town until dawn broke. Grandma, who usually hated wasting diesel the most, drove for a whole day and night to pull me out of the darkness.
放心，今年过年一定回去。
But little did I know, I would never get to see Grandma again in the next new year.